Hey there, welcome back to Twisted Hood. Here, we unravel the most fascinating and gripping crime stories that will keep you hooked. If you're as obsessed with true crime as we are, show some love by hitting that like button, dropping a comment, and subscribing to the channel. Trust us, you won't want to miss the twists and turns we have coming your way. Imagine a 10-month-old child. What could their world possibly consist of? What enmity could they possibly harbor? Yet, this infant, barely introduced to life, was subjected to unimaginable cruelty. Shot at point-blank range in the knee, the child writhed in pain, but the tormentors weren't finished. A knife was drawn, and the small body became a canvas for a macabre game. The horror didn't end there. While still alive, the child's eyes were gouged out. The mere thought of this act sends shivers down the spine. Finally, as if their twisted entertainment had run its course, the child was shot again, this time fatally. But this was just the beginning. Another child, barely 3 years old, was brought before them. The same horrific ritual was repeated. A gunshot, an eye ripped from its socket, agonizing knife wounds. Finally, a shot to the temple ended their suffering, half of their head blown away. Then came an 8-year-old, subjected to multiple gunshots, each carefully placed to prolong the agony, followed by the cruel cuts of a knife before the final, merciful bullet. 5 gunshots. A 10-month-old, a 3-year-old, an 8-year-old. No age justifies such barbarity. What thoughts must have crossed their innocent minds as they faced such unimaginable terror? Their mothers, their grandmother, 3 women, were also present, each riddled with bullets to the chest, back, and head. 3 innocent children and 3 women were subjected to this horrific ordeal. Shot, stabbed, trampled upon. When the perpetrators were satisfied that their victims were dead, they threw the bodies into a river. One day, the bodies surfaced. A call to the police, the retrieval of 5 corpses, a 6th discovered 2 days later. The post-mortem reports revealed the gruesome details, the very details I've just recounted, details that make one's blood run cold. This is a story I wish I never had to tell. What kind of monsters could commit such acts? Hatred, anger, these are human emotions, but this? A 10-month-old child wouldn't even recognize most faces, perhaps only calling out for mama or papa. The 3-year-old was oblivious to the complexities of human relationships, politics, or conflict. The 8-year-old was still just a child, unaware of the true dangers of the world. These children likely saw their tormentors as adults, as figures of authority, perhaps even as family. They couldn't have known the evil that lurked within them. This is the story of Manipur, a state gripped by horror for the past 10 days, a state where these 6 deaths have ignited fury. Images have gone viral on social media, the details of the atrocities leaving even hardened criminals in disbelief. The story unfolds in Jiribam, a district in Manipur. On November 11th, an incident occurred amidst the ongoing conflict between the Meitei and Kuki communities, a conflict that has raged for 575 days since 2023. An encounter between CRPF forces and a Kuki group resulted in the deaths of 10 Kuki individuals. This sparked outrage within the Kuki community, leading to protests and rallies. The blame fell upon the Meitei, the dominant community in the region. A bitter rivalry exists between these groups, with many members living in relief camps under the protection of security forces. Following the deaths of the 10 Kuki individuals, a Kuki group attacked a relief camp in Jiribam, kidnapping 6 people. 3 women, aged 25, 31, and over 55, and 3 children, 10 months, 3 years, and 8 years old. A chilling photograph emerged, showing the hostages held captive by armed men. In the photo, the 8-month-old stares innocently at one of their captors, unaware of the impending doom. This was the last image of them alive. On November 16th, bodies were discovered floating in a river near Jiribam. They were identified as the kidnapped individuals. 5 bodies were found initially, with the 6th, one of the women, found 2 days later. The post-mortem reports revealed the full extent of the brutality, shocking the nation. The way these innocent children were murdered forced everyone to confront the horrifying face of violence. This tragedy is rooted in a complex history. Since India's independence in 1947, Manipur, with its capital Imphal, has been a part of the nation. 90% of its population resides in mountainous and forested areas, while 10% lives in the plains. The conflict stems from the power dynamics between three main communities: the Meitei, the Kuki, and the Naga. The Meitei, primarily Hindu and Muslim, dominate the fertile plains, holding significant political and economic power. The Kuki and Naga, predominantly Christian, reside in the hills and forests. In 2012, the Meitei community demanded Scheduled Tribe (ST) status, a designation that would grant them certain privileges, including the right to own land in the hill areas currently reserved for other tribes. This demand sparked outrage among the other communities, who feared losing their land and identity. The issue remained unresolved for 11 years, with various protests and movements. Finally, the matter reached the Manipur High Court, which on May 3, 2023, issued an order. This order, misinterpreted and misused, ignited the flames of violence. The court instructed the state government to respond to the Meitei community's demand and sought the opinion of the central government. However, rumors spread that the Meitei had already been granted ST status, triggering widespread protests and violence. Since then, 575 days of relentless violence have claimed approximately 250 lives, injured thousands, and displaced over 6,000 people. Amidst this ongoing conflict, the brutal murders of the three children have shaken the conscience of the nation. The sheer inhumanity of the acts defies comprehension. The situation in Manipur remains dire. The government's efforts have been insufficient to quell the violence, and the deep-seated mistrust between communities continues to grow. People live in constant fear, hiding in forests and fields, terrified of further attacks. Mothers resort to drugging their children to silence their cries, desperate to protect them from harm. A solution must be found. The state and central governments must prioritize this issue and work towards a peaceful resolution. Every passing day deepens the wounds and erodes the possibility of reconciliation. That's it in this crime thriller episode. We'll be back soon with more such exciting crime stories. Until then, take care of yourself, stay healthy, and make sure to hit that subscribe button so you're ready for what's next. See you soon.